So in the world of data science, there's a real showdown happening right now. You've got Python, the undisputed king, going up against Julia, a challenger that was built from the ground up for pure speed. We're going to break this whole thing down and see what really makes each of them tick. And look, that's a totally fair question, right? Python is everywhere in data science. It's versatile, it has this massive community, and an unbelievable collection of libraries. For a lot of folks, it's the beginning and the end of their toolkit. But, and this is a big but, it has this one major weakness that basically left the door wide open for something new. Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll talk about why Python is the king. Then, we'll dive into that key weakness I mentioned, what's known as the two-language problem. After that, we'll introduce the challenger, Julia. We'll put their ecosystems head-to-head, and then finally, give you the verdict on which one might be right for you. All right, first up, the reigning champ. Python's dominance in data science, it's not just hype, not at all. Its syntax is just so clean and readable, it almost feels like you're writing in plain English. That makes it amazing for beginners, but it's also seriously powerful for complex work. It's no wonder it's become the bedrock of the entire field. But here's the thing. Python's real power, it comes from its absolutely massive ecosystem of libraries. Seriously, think of it like a giant workshop stocked with every precision tool you could ever need. You've got NumPy for lightning-fast math, Pandas for wrangling messy data into nice, clean tables, and Matplotlib for turning all those numbers into charts you can actually understand. This trio is the foundation for pretty much every data science project out there. And when we talk about machine learning, oh man, scikit-learn is the absolute cornerstone. It's a total game changer. It takes these incredibly complex algorithms, the stuff that can predict stock prices or figure out if an email is spam, and makes them super accessible with a simple, consistent interface. It's the tool that really brought machine learning to the masses. Okay, so if Python is so great, what's the catch? There has to be one, right? Well, it all comes down to one word: speed. Because Python is an interpreted language, it can get really bogged down and slow when you're doing heavy-duty number crunching. And this leads to this super frustrating situation that developers call the two-language problem. So let me walk you through how this headache usually plays out. You build your prototype quickly in Python. It's fast, it's easy, you're flying. But then you try to scale it up for production and bam, you hit a performance wall. The code is just too slow. The only solution is to find those slow parts and rewrite them in a much faster language like C++. And just like that, you're stuck juggling two completely separate code bases. It's a developer's nightmare. And this is the exact problem Julia was born to solve. It was literally created to get rid of the two-language problem for good. It was designed from the ground up for high-performance scientific computing, but, and this is key, without giving up that easy-to-use vibe that makes everyone love Python. So Julia's core promise is pretty ambitious, I gotta say. They want to give you the best of both worlds. The goal is to give you that friendly, readable syntax of Python combined with the raw, pedal-to-the-metal speed of C. This means you write your code just once, and it's fast enough for everything from your first prototype all the way to full-scale production. So how in the world does it pull off this magic trick? Well, the secret sauce is something called a just-in-time compiler, or JIT for short. Think of it this way. Python reads your code line by line, like a live interpreter. Julia, on the other hand, is smarter. Right before it runs your code, it looks at a whole chunk of it, figures out the absolute fastest way to execute it, and then compiles it on the fly into super efficient machine code. It's kind of like having an expert optimize your plan at the very last second. And here's the kicker. If you're a Python developer, the syntax looks incredibly familiar. I mean, look at this. Defining a simple function in Julia feels almost identical to doing it in Python. That wasn't an accident. They designed it that way on purpose to make the transition as smooth as possible. Okay, so let's move on to the ecosystems. This is where the real differences start to show up, and honestly, it's often the deciding factor. We're basically looking at a battle between Python's established do-everything giants and Julia's newer, super specialized toolkits. And if you look at this table, you'll see a really interesting pattern. For almost every huge Python library, there's a Julia counterpart popping up. You got Pandas? Julia has dataframes.jl. Scikit-learn? Check out mlj.jl. But look at that last row. Scientific machine learning. This is where Julia isn't just making a copy. It's building something entirely new and, frankly, dominant. And that brings us to Julia's true superpower, a field called scientific machine learning, or SIML. Imagine trying to predict a satellite's orbit. A normal machine learning model would just look at a bunch of past data. A SIML model can actually bake the laws of physics right into its learning process. This fusion of scientific knowledge and AI needs an insane amount of performance, and that is where Julia just leaves everyone else in the dust. And trust me, this isn't just some academic theory. Julia's SIML tools are being used in some of the most high-stakes fields you could imagine. We're talking about the Climate Modeling Alliance, using it for high-resolution climate change models. NASA is using it to optimize spacecraft trajectories. Pharmaceutical giants like Moderna and Pfizer are using it for drug development, and even firms like BlackRock are using it for high-performance financial modeling. All right, so let's bring this all home. The big question remains, which one should you actually pick? And really, the answer isn't about which one is better. It's about picking the right tool for the job you have to do. So here's a quick summary of the trade-offs. When it comes to speed, Python's pretty good, but it often needs some help, while Julia's speed is excellent right out of the box. For the ecosystem, Python's is like a huge, sprawling city that's been around forever. Julia's is more like a brand new city full of hypermodern specialized districts, and that really defines their sweet spots. Python is your versatile generalist, and Julia is your high-performance specialist. So the bottom line is this. You should stick with Python if what you need is versatility and a massive community. If you're just starting out in data science, if your project involves web apps, or if you rely on that huge mature ecosystem for general-purpose machine learning, Python is still the undisputed champion, no question. But you should give Julia a serious look if performance is your #1 headache. If you're constantly fighting that two-language problem, or if your work is all about heavy-duty scientific computing, complex simulations, or that cutting-edge field of scientific machine learning, well, Julia was literally built for you. And that leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to think about. Python's gravity is immense. Its community and its libraries are a force of nature. But Julia isn't just chipping away at the edges, it's solving problems that were once considered nearly impossible. So the real question is, are we watching a niche competitor find its place? Or are we seeing the beginning of a fundamental revolution in scientific computing? That's a story that's still being written.